Hello my darlings and welcome to or welcome back to Marion K Tarot. I hope you're doing alright. So, happy full moon weekend. I hope you've had a lovely time. You have been releasing loads of things and enjoying the first lunation since February that has not been an eclipse. So that's been fun. And it also finishes up the eclipse period between the axis of Aries and Libra. So we won't see that for another good wee while. Okay. 15 years, 12, 15, maybe, something like that. What else have I got to say to you? Venus direct. Hurrah, hurrah. So now all your relationship problems are your fault. I kid. I jest. No, it's been 40 days of hard shit. Basically, Venus retrogrades tend to highlight anything that's going on in our relationships, particularly romantic relationships, but also, and this is a part that people often forget about Venus, is we're relationships with money, finance, our resources, the things that we need, our sustenance, that kind of thing. So, I mean, like, I think you'd have to be living under a rock if you didn't look at the financial highs and lows, shall we say, to remain as neutral as possible. That's been going on. So that's very Venus retrograde. This week we are going to be doing a reading for the collective from the 14th to the 20th of April. So that's really just the last week of Aries season, and kind of a heading into Taurus season. Not exactly sure, but the last full week of Aries season. So if you want to get started on something, you have got this week. So get it done. This week we are going to be using the Incredible Witch Sister Tarot by Julia Jeffrey. It's incredible. It's amazing. I love Julia's work. I'm really I'm in a really privileged position to actually know her personally. And she's a lovely woman, and she is just the most incredible artist. So we're going to be using the Witch Sister because it just feels right. I don't know why, it just feels right. Maybe we just need a kind of boost of that magic, that feminine power, that empowerment with Venus going direct again. So let's see what we got for 14th to the 20th of April, please. Let's see what we got. 14th to 21st, right? Whatever. Let's see. Okay, now these are really well shuffled. It's interesting what is happening here, because first of all we have got the Nine of Waters. Now the Nine of Waters in this deck, quite easy to recognise, the Nine of Cups. Okay, we have got the Eight of Waters, which is the Eight of Cups, and then we have got the Three of Stones, which is the Three of Pentacles. There's a very interesting story going on right away with these cards. It's quite abundantly clear to see they're all minor arcana cards. That does not mean that it's going to be a minor week. It is very much we may be a bit of a slow start, but it feels, this, you've got the Nine of Waters here, right? Now traditionally Nine of Waters is a wish coming true card, because it's a Nine of Cups, and we're getting all these things that, wishes coming true, things happening. But if you look at that female, right, even though she's got this beautiful gold shield, there's a feeling of, what I want to know is, what is the price that she has paid to get that wish fulfillment. What price has she paid? What does it cost her? What's it cost her emotionally? Because remember talking about the cups here, the suit of water. What does it cost her emotionally to reach that place of feeling like her wishes are coming true? It's a question we're going to ask, and it may be a question that you are asked this week. You know, again, we'll go back to that Venus going direct energy and just starting to move forward again. You know, so it's going to, you could be going over old ground emotionally, maybe to do with relationships, maybe, you know, we've had Venus retrograde, we've also had a Mercury retrograde in there as well. You know, it's the ultimate calling card with the text message for the ex, you know, the phone call for the ex, or them turning up randomly in a place that you would never expect them to be. And maybe you're the ex. You know, maybe you're the ex that's realised during this period that you have wanted to show up in somebody's life. Maybe you have, and it's came, you know, maybe you've been searching for that kind of, that closure. You know, I think there's a lot to be said for realising that we don't usually need the conversation. You know, we can have that conversation with ourselves, and if we're in the pursuit of closure, it sometimes comes across as, if we look at it in a bit of a deeper way, it can come across as actually we don't want closure, we want an opportunity to explain ourselves. We want an opportunity to hear them tell us why. You know, and sometimes they don't know the why. You know, but this is a hard fought piece that's came. Again, maybe you have to walk away from peace. Maybe your life up until this point you have been doing a lot to keep the peace. Okay, and yet this week, at this retrograde season, this eclipse season, you know, it could be even over the last 2 years, during the Aries Libra axis, you know, while the nodes of the moon have been in those two signs, something that may have happened 2 years ago, and you're starting to realise, well, actually, I should have walked then, and I should have left then, but you stayed to keep peace. So we're realising that, and maybe this retrograde has just really shown that, and you're now like, right, okay, I need to eat a cups this. You know, for anybody in the UK, a certain vintage, if you remember that song for the early 90s by the La's, it's like, walk away. Maybe it's time. You know, maybe it's time to really put some concerted effort into working out how to walk away. And obviously that's not for everybody, but that's just the energy that I'm pulling for that. And it doesn't necessarily need to be a relationship. It could be a job. You know, it could be something that, you know, a habit that you've maybe been wanting to give up, for instance, and it's saying to you, right, so the thing that I'll think about is, because incidentally this week, actually, the 20th, I celebrate 2 years being smoke free, and I didn't mean to. Funnily enough, I didn't mean to give up smoking, but it happened. So, you know, it could be something like that, you know, something you're walking away from something that you felt like gave you peace. So maybe it's like that glass of wine, or, you know, maybe you've been overindulging in something and you think that it gives you a sense of peace, but actually you've realised that it gives, like, you're kind of in denial about it. So you need to walk away from it. You know, you need to just go and get your wee seals and just turn your back on it. The final card we've got this week, and how it relates to this being the Three of Stones or the Three of Pentacles. Maybe this is the week you ask for help. Maybe this is the week that there's an opportunity to collaborate, you know. Maybe this is the story of these cards, you know. What we can say is there is something that you have been keeping to yourself, this hard-won peace, realising that you need to walk away from it, you need to upset. You know, sometimes in life, we need to upset the apple cart, okay? I remember distinctly last weekend, the reading for that week we've just finished up, you know, there was a tower in it. Don't ask me the other colours, it's amazing that I remember that. But, you know, sometimes we need that energy. Sometimes we need to, you know, shake our lives up a bit, because it's like, what do we do every day? You know, get up and go to the same job and have the same relationship and have the same conversations with people, you know, and we just get stuck in a rut. You know, so maybe it's like the Three of Stones here being the Three of Pentacles. There's that collaborative energy, you know, it's like reach out to somebody different. Maybe put yourself in a situation where you are almost forced to make other connections, you know, to make connections with other people that you don't even maybe know. You know, it could be a random email that pops in your inbox and you think it's spam, but you maybe read it and think to yourself, this is worth a wee punt. You know, and you just don't know what will come for that. That's, you know, that's the thing. So what I would say is this week, relish the peace and understand that you have got there and you have gave up a lot to get there. But sometimes it can be too peaceful. It can be too quiet. Okay? It can be too safe. Right? And sometimes we just need to go where we need to go with our gut. We need to follow our heart, and sometimes when we follow our heart, we need to walk away from what we believe is peaceful. Okay, but collaborate. Right? You just never know what will happen. Okay, my loves. So as I say, that was your reading for the 14th to 20th of April. Have a wonderful week. If you would like to book a reading with me, the links are in the description box below. While you're there, if you would like to hit the thumbs up for this and even leave me a wee comment, say what you think. What do you think of the deck? What do you think of the energies that's coming off? How's your Venus retrograde been? Let me know. I love to have a wee blather in the chat. So yeah, so you take good care of yourselves, and I will see you next week. Okay, bye.